Jean Piaget, 1896 to 1980, by Danica Schoenfeld. Jean Piaget was born in Neuchâtel, Switzerland on August 9, 1896, to his mother Rebecca Jackson and his father Arthur Piaget. Piaget's mother is described as an intelligent but neurotic individual, while his father is described as a hardworking and driven professor of medieval literature. Many hypothesize Piaget developed his interest in psychology from observing his mother as a child. Piaget's childhood consisted of a strong desire to learn and to investigate the mysteries of the world. Piaget attended high school at only age 11, and he wrote several lengthy, detailed research papers. At this age, Piaget found his passion for mollusks, and he often observed them for hours. Piaget would continue to study mollusks for the rest of his life. When he was only a teenager, he began studying at the College University of Neuchâtel, where his father worked. Piaget's direction of study was initially zoology, but he studied psychology for a semester after that. Piaget's psychological mentors were Carl Jung and Paul Bleuler. His studies in psychology developed his interest in psychoanalysis. Piaget continued to study psychology for another year in Paris. He learned more about abnormal psych specifically. At age 20, Piaget published his first scientific paper. Piaget published several research papers to an audience unaware of his young age. He earned his doctoral degree in 1918, and he wrote his thesis about mollusks of Valais, Switzerland. Piaget suffered from tuberculosis for a year after the stress he put himself through to earn his degree. In 1921, Piaget earned the title of Director of Studies at the J.J. Rousseau Institute. Piaget married Valentine Chatanet in 1923. The married couple had 3 children, 2 girls and a boy named Jacqueline, Lucienne, and Laurent. His first child was born in 1925, the second in 1927, and the third in 1931. Piaget developed an interest watching his children transition from infancy to toddlers to school-aged children. He was interested in observing when they learned about and grasped certain concepts and when they developed certain physical characteristics. Piaget wanted to investigate the processes in which children learn, and he was one of the first to take children's thoughts seriously. In the 1930s through the 1940s, Piaget collaborated with several psychologists, working as a team to conduct several large-scale child psychology research studies. Piaget often encouraged women to pursue higher education in psychology, which was uncommon at the time. After this collaboration, Piaget began working at various educational institutions and organizations and directed psychology laboratories. He earned the chair position of experimental psychology and the title of president of the Swiss Society of Psychology. Piaget gave lectures to a college in France during World War II, and Harvard awarded Piaget an honorary degree in 1936, and Sorbonne did the same in 1946. By 1949, the University of Brussels and the University of Brazil awarded honorary degrees as well. Piaget was promoted to the professor of genetic psychology in 1952 at Sorbonne, and he opened the International Center of Genetic Epistemology only 3 years later. He went on to create the foundation of the School of Sciences at the University of Geneva. Jean Piaget died at age 84 on September 16, 1980, in Geneva, Switzerland. His cause of death remains unknown, but it likely correlates with his age. Piaget left behind a legacy. He published more than 50 books and hundreds of papers. His work is studied and is still relevant to child psychology and child development today. In the years before his death, Piaget won the prestigious Erasmus and Piaget prizes. Piaget's passion and drive lead to a huge impact on future research and education. Piaget spent 75 years of his life researching psychology, zoology, epistemology, child development, and philosophy. One of Piaget's pivotal theories in developmental psychology is his cognitive development theory. Piaget believed that the brain has a system of organizing the world, which he calls schemas, which are the units of information that people use to organize the world. The brain processes and stores information as it is learned. Piaget noted that assimilation is the process of absorbing information and organizing it into a pre-existing schema. When people cannot assimilate information, they must accommodate the information, or they'll be in a state of disequilibrium. Accommodation allows people to revise their knowledge and correct any misinformation. Piaget designated 4 stages in child development, including the sensory motor stage, the pre-operational stage, the concrete operational stage, and the formal operational stage. The first stage begins at birth and ends at around age 2. In this stage, children learn about the world through their senses due to mobility and cognitive limitations. Children will chew, shake, and throw and feel their toys to explore what the item is. In this stage, children do not have object permanence and they do not understand complex concepts. The second stage is called the pre-operational stage, and it begins at around 2 years old, ending at around 7 years old. Children in this stage do not think logically, but rather use symbolic and intuitive thought. Symbolic thought describes children's imagination. A few examples of symbolic thought are fantasy play, language, and drawings. Piaget believed intuitive thought develops around 3 years old when a child begins exhibiting transductive reasoning and egocentrism. Egocentrism is the inability to view the world from another person's point of view. At this age, children do not understand that someone else's perspective may differ from their own. Children in the pre-operational stage do not yet understand the concepts of conservation and reversibility. Jean Piaget called his third stage the concrete operational stage. Piaget believed children in this stage range from age 7 to 12 years old. In this stage, children cannot think abstractly, but they can think logically. Piaget noted in this stage that children can understand concepts of conservation and reversibility. The final stage of cognitive development is the formal operational stage. Piaget believes this starts at around age 12, and there is no identifiable endpoint to this stage. In this stage, children can think hypothetically, abstractly, and use deductive reasoning. Piaget called this ability hypothetico-deductive reasoning. According to Piaget, there are 3 stages in moral development, including the pre-moral, heteronomous, and autonomous morality stages. Piaget believed that children under the age of 4 cannot consider issues in terms of morality, which is the first stage. Piaget's second stage of moral development, the heteronomous stage, includes children from the age 4 to 7 years old. In this stage, morals are only understood from outside influence and not an full understanding of the moral. The autonomous morality stage occurs at around age 7 to 8 years old, and in this stage, children develop a deeper understanding of morals and why it is best to abide by them. Jean Piaget's work left a lasting impact on the application of developmental psychology in classrooms. The incorporation of his ideas and teaching strategies may boost student achievement. By implementing Piaget's knowledge and research into the classroom, teachers can develop a better understanding of students and their cognition. Teachers may apply their knowledge of schemas, assimilation, and accommodation to their teaching strategies. Understanding these ideas will remind teachers to correct students' mistakes and explain the error in detail to correct them in the future. Piaget's theories in child development are still studied to this day, although they have been revised and expanded. Piaget left a lasting impact and achieved countless accomplishments throughout his lifetime.